Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Monday, the 22nd of November. Indian farmers hold mass rally, keep pressure on PM Modi despite climb down. International Monetary Fund to revive $6 billion Pakistan funding program. And Sri Lanka begins trials connected to 2019 Easter bombings case. And now for all the details. Indian farmers held a mass rally on Monday in a show of strength as they said their protest would continue despite Prime Minister Narendra Modi's surprise announcement to roll back 3 farm laws which they have opposed since last year. The agitating farmers have demanded the government to introduce a law that would guarantee minimum prices for all crops and also address their other issues.
Flushed with victory after Prime Minister Narendra Modi caved into demands for agricultural reform laws to be repealed, Indian farmers held a mass rally on Monday to demand minimum support prices be extended to all produce, not just rice and wheat. Thousands gathered for the latest rally in Lucknow in India's most populous Uttar Pradesh state, where Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party will seek to hold on to power in state elections early next year. The Prime Minister's climb down has sparked celebrations, but farmer leaders have warned that their nearly 1-year-long agitation would continue until the government promised to introduce a law that would guarantee minimum prices for all crops.
MSP guarantee कानून बने 750 किसान शहीद हुए हैं उनका ध्यान रखा जाए जो पोल्यूशन वाला वो पॉलिसी है उस पे काम करें और जो दूध का एक पॉलिसी लेकर आ रहे हैं उसके भी खिलाफ हम हैं बीज कानून ये लेकर आना चाहते हैं तो ये बहुत से सवाल हैं इन पर सब पे बातचीत करना चाहते हैं
Currently, the government mainly buys rice and wheat at minimum support prices or guaranteed prices, but the safety net benefits barely 6% of India's millions of farmers. Farmers have also asked for the federal government to withdraw a draft electricity bill, which threatens to cut subsidized power for irrigation. They also want the government to drop penalties for air pollution due to burning their fields after harvesting to remove stalk and chaff, which has become a major concern amid worsening pollution in areas bordering the crop-growing northern states.
Indian Air Force Ace pilot Group Captain Abhinandan Varthaman was awarded Vir Chakra, the 3rd highest wartime gallantry award on Monday by President Ram Nath Kovind at an investiture ceremony in New Delhi. Abhinandan shot down an F-16 during a dogfight over the line of control a day after India carried out an airstrike on a JEM terrorist training camp in Pakistan's Balakot in 2019.
Indian President Ram Nath Kovind presented gallantry awards and distinguished service decorations in defence investiture ceremony at Rashtrapati Bhavan, the presidential palace in capital New Delhi on Monday. Group Captain Abhinandan Varthaman, who shot down a Pakistani F-16 fighter jet during a dogfight over the line of control (LOC) in February 2019, a day after the Balakot airstrike, was awarded the Vir Chakra by the President. In the process, Abhinandan, who was wing commander, had to eject over the territory controlled by Pakistan as his MiG-21 was hit. He was then taken into custody by the Pakistan Army. Pakistan was forced to release him due to the extensive pressure exerted by the Indian side along with international intervention into the matter. Among other gallantry awards presented by President Kovind included a Kirti Chakra awarded posthumously to Sapar Prakash Jadhav for gallantry in a counter-insurgency operation in Jammu and Kashmir 3 years ago. His wife and mother received the award. Major Vibhuti Shankar Dhondeyal, who was killed in the 2019 Pulwama terrorist attack, was accorded the Shaurya Chakra posthumously for his role in an operation where 5 terrorists were eliminated and 200 kg explosive material was recovered. The award was received by his wife Lieutenant Nitika Kaul and mother Saroj Dhondeyal. Kirti Chakra and Shaurya Chakra are the country's 2nd and 3rd highest peacetime gallantry awards after Ashok Chakra. The gallantry awards are announced twice a year, first on the occasion of Republic Day and then on Independence Day.
And moving on, the International Monetary Fund said on Monday it has reached a staff-level agreement with Pakistan that will help revive a stalled $6 billion funding program for the South Asian country. This comes as Pakistan has been grappling with the historical currency devaluation, high inflation and current account deficit.
The International Monetary Fund or IMF said on Monday it has reached a staff-level agreement with Pakistan that will help revive a stalled $6 billion funding program for the South Asian country, which faces growing economic challenges. Pakistan's Finance Minister Shaukat Tareen had last week said the terms and conditions of the program had been made harder due to economic losses caused by COVID-19 shutdowns. He said Pakistan had to complete 5 reforms before the IMF revived the funding, including withdrawal of tax exemptions and increased energy tariffs. This comes as Pakistan has been grappling with a historical currency devaluation and a current account deficit and an all-time high inflation, which experts say is likely to worsen.
सर ये बड़ा अफसोस की बात है कि मतलब हैरत की बात है गरीब आदमी किधर जाएगा महंगाई मतलब हुकूमत को इस बारे में सोचना चाहिए और ज़रूर ऐसी पॉलिसी इख्तियार करें कि जिससे आम आदमी इससे फ़ायदा और रिलीफ उठा सके वरना ये तो बड़ा मसला हो जाएगा आगे कोई अच्छी खबर नहीं है कि इस तरह महंगाई हो रही है.
Before coming to power, Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan strongly opposed IMF loans for their strict conditions. His government negotiating a $6 billion bailout package in 2019 to stave off the balance of payments crisis was a major U-turn in his position.
And more news from Pakistan. Opposition Pakistan People's Party Chairman Bilawal Bhutto-Zardari has slammed Prime Minister Imran Khan over its incompetency amid an ongoing gas crisis in the country. Bilawal said the solution of all problems of all the public lies in the ouster of the ruling PTI-led government.
Expressing serious concerns over the ongoing gas crisis across Pakistan, Bilawal Bhutto-Zardari, chairman of Pakistan People's Party or PPP, on Sunday slammed Prime Minister Imran Khan's government for its incompetency, saying that the solution of all problems of the public lies in the ouster of the ruling PTI-led government. Bhutto in a statement said on the one hand Imran Khan's puppet regime has doubled the gas prices and on the other hand gas has been made inaccessible to the consumers. Pakistan Prime Minister should apologize to the citizens who are starving due to the policies of the PTI-led government, he said. Due to diminishing local gas sources and the failure of the government to obtain a sufficient quantity of liquefied natural gas, Pakistan is facing a severe gas crisis. Meanwhile, Pakistan's Petroleum Dealers Association has announced a countrywide strike from November 25 to demand a 6% increase in margins on the sale of petroleum products. This comes as the government hiked petrol prices for the third consecutive time in 2 months, taking it to nearly 145 rupees per litre, leaving consumers overburdened.
And in news from Sri Lanka, a Sri Lankan court on Monday began the first of 3 trials connected to bombings that killed nearly 270 people on the island in 2019 amidst appeals for greater accountability from victim support groups. The blast, claimed by militant group Islamic State, targeted 3 churches and 3 luxury hotels, shocking the country and shattering a decade of relative peace after the end of a 25-year civil war.
A Sri Lankan court on Monday began the first of 3 trials connected to bombings that killed nearly 270 people on the island in 2019 amidst appeals for greater accountability from victim support groups. 9 suicide bombers belonging to local Islamist extremist group National Tawheed Jamaat linked to militant group Islamic State carried out a series of blasts that tore through 3 churches and as many luxury hotels in Sri Lanka. St. Sebastian Church in Negombo and St. Anthony's Shrine in Colombo were 2 of the churches targeted, while the Cinnamon Grand Hotel and the Shangri-La Hotel were also badly hit in the attacks. Nearly all victims were Sri Lankans who had gathered to celebrate Easter Sunday at churches. Dozens of foreigners were also killed. Sri Lanka declared a state of emergency and deployed the armed forces after the blast, as fears of retaliatory sectarian violence caused Muslim communities to flee their homes amid bomb scares, lockdowns and security sweeps.
Moving on to news from Nepal, Vice Chairman of Opposition Communist Party of Nepal-Unified Marxist Leninist or CPN-UML, Bhim Rawal has announced his candidacy for the post of chairman, challenging incumbent KP Sharma Oli in the upcoming General Convention. UML is holding its 10th General Convention from November 26th to 28th to elect new leadership for the next 5 years. After the split of Madhav Kumar Nepal faction from the CPN-UML and Oli's denial to implement a 10-point agreement for party's unity in July, Rawal was dissatisfied with the current chair. The move to announce candidacy is being considered as a challenge to the faction led by KP Sharma Oli. Oli, a former Prime Minister, has always been vocal against opponents, whether they are from inside the party or ruling alliance. He is, however, yet to comment on Rawal's candidacy. The mesmerizing autumn season is at its peak in India's Jammu and Kashmir territory. Tourists from across the country are flocking to the Mughal Gardens to witness its beauty and picturesque atmosphere created by the autumn leaves of chinar trees.
Large number of domestic tourists thronged Srinagar city of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir territory this weekend to enjoy the autumn chill and catch a glimpse of the fiery chinar or oriental plant trees as the temperatures dropped below normal. The leaves of chinar are scattered beautifully on the streets across the valley and at the Mughal Garden. The unique leaves turn red before falling on ground, giving a kaleidoscopic look to the valley. A tourist said she enjoyed the breathtaking scenic beauty.
बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. हमने ऐसा कहीं नहीं देखा. मैं तो स्विट्जरलैंड भी जाकर आई, लेकिन ऐसा मेरे को कहीं नहीं मिला. बहुत अच्छा नेचुरल ब्यूटी है यहाँ.
The autumn season is also known as Harud in the local language, denotes the foggy season with different hues in the air. During autumn season, the leaves of majestic chinar trees turn gold brown from the green, which is always attracting nature lovers.
मुगल गार्डन्स में हमारी कंसंट्रेशन चिनार्स की बहुत ज़्यादा है. उस वजह से ये आटम की मतलब एक मुनफरिद अट्रैक्शन बन जाता है मुगल गार्डन्स. निशात, शालीमार, हमारे अगर निशात की बात करें उसमें कोई 100-200 चिनार्स हमारे पास हैं और वो एक प्रॉपर पैटर्न में लगे हुए हैं. तो एक जिसको बोलते हैं ऑटम का जो ह्यू होता है वो जो एक मॉस इफ़ेक्ट होता है वो अट्रैक्ट करता है नेशनल टूरिस्ट्स को, लोकल टूरिस्ट्स को, इंटरनेशनल टूरिस्ट्स को.
Jammu and Kashmir is a well-known tourist destination for winter activities, making tourism one of the mainstays of the region's economy. The tourism industry is trying to recover from the woes of coronavirus pandemic that struck the country last year.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Indian farmers hold mass rally, keep pressure on PM Modi despite climb down. International Monetary Fund to revive $6 billion Pakistan funding program. And Sri Lanka begins trials connected to 2019 Easter bombings case. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.